A lot of people ask me, how do I help my loved one who's suffering from vertigo or equilibrium problems or balance problems? And first of all, let me just applaud you for saying that you want to help, because it can be really frustrating when you have a family member or a friend or a significant other that has this somewhat elusive and invisible problem of vertigo and disequilibrium. These vestibular disorders can often make people feel like they're rocking, tilting, drifting, shifting, spinning, falling. All of these words of vestibular symptoms indicate to you that the person that you care about feels like they have lost control of their body's ability to be still. It is a scary feeling for them, and I applaud you for wanting to help them. So today I've put together 3 tips that I think are some of the best ways that you today can start helping participate in your loved one's recovery and not contribute to their symptoms of the vestibular problem. So let's start with number 1. The first one is to restrict your own movement and the movement of things around them. So if the person is feeling like they're having symptoms of vertigo or disequilibrium, you might see them close their eyes and tell you, if they haven't already, stop moving. So let me give you a word of advice. Don't stand in front of them with your arms moving, animated, shifting, drift, and moving yourself, or moving things in their vision, because the sensation that they have already makes them feel so unsteady and probably nauseated that any additional movement in their environment can cause them to feel worse. So if you're in front of them, be still. Be still like me. Vestibular patients can't watch me be a good therapist if I'm moving. So be still and be in front of them, and that's going to really help limit extra movement. If you're in a public place with them, or a place where they're feeling unsteady and having dizziness, turn them to look at the wall, because again, you can help them remove them from a busy environment or turn them towards a place where you're minimizing their vestibular input that's coming from all the visual things that they're looking at. The second tip is to guide them in some relaxation and awareness techniques. Again, they feel like they're shifting, drifting, moving, spinning, and you want to help calm their nervous system. And the way you can do that is to teach them a technique I call the BARF technique, BRF. That means breathe, relax, and feel. You can tell them to take a deep breath and breathe, relax, and feel. Tell them to feel gravity pulling them straight down into the chair or the surface or the bed or wherever they are. Because if they begin to align with gravity, ground to the floor, feel gravity pulling them down into the chair, or if they're standing, down through their feet, then their brain will start to get accurate information that says you're not tilting, drifting, spinning, you're connected to the surface. Gravity's pulling you down, you're steady, you're not falling or floating. So guided relaxation using BRF, breathe, relax, and feel. I usually teach all my patients this technique on day 1 of their first visit with me, and then add to that something that I teach them to do themselves, but you as the loved one can really help them with this third one. The third one is adding tactile input to their body to help their nervous system feel steady, okay? So first we had restrict the environmental movement. Second, we had teach them to have awareness of being grounded with breathe, relax, and feel. And the third is adding tactile input to their body to help calm them. This tactile input comes in a couple of different ways. If you're behind them, put your hands on their shoulders and gently push down. You want them to breathe, relax, and feel gravity pulling themselves straight down into the surface or down through their feet if they're standing. And your gentle pressure on both shoulders together helps them feel heavier in the ground. And believe it or not, that helps ground their nervous system and helps them stop the movement. You don't want to push on one hand more than the other, or just on one hand alone, because that would give them a feeling that they're tilting or rocking, but thinking of straight down into the ground. So down through the shoulders. I teach people to put a hand on their head and press down gently through their head while their head is straight up and down vertical, not promoting a tilt one side or the other, but promoting a nice vertical stability that you can help them with by putting your hands on their shoulders. You could get in front of someone and hold their hands like this, where you cup your hand behind their elbow and you hold them this way in front and pull down towards the ground, teaching them to breathe, relax, and feel. They need that extra somatosensory input that tells them you're not moving, you're steady, and you're stable. Let me show you one more way to give that tactile input. I'm going to use this ball beside me as if I'm sitting beside my loved one that has vertigo. So if I come up and sit beside them, I want my hand around their back and on their opposite shoulder, and I'm putting my body right next to theirs to hold them from the front and the back and stabilize my breath, join my breath with theirs, and breathe, relax, and feel. Feel gravity pulling you straight down into the surface. Tell them that they're steady and they're not moving, and you're holding steady. So you want to give through your body, give them a sense of being steady and stable and still. Regulate their breath with yours and relax with them. And you'll find that their symptoms recover significantly faster than if they are left without some of those additional things. So to recap one more time, when our loved ones are dizzy, minimize environmental cues and movements by moving them to a quiet place. Don't move in front of them. Face them against the wall. The second one is guide them in some relaxation and meditation and awareness exercises with breathe, relax, and feel. Make sure you slow their breath, get them to connect. And third, adding tactile input. I hope these are helpful tools for you, and I appreciate your desire to be helpful to your loved one who has vertigo and imbalance.